Welcome to Uncovering History, where we're studying an original painting so we can get a glimpse into history. Today's painting is done by an artist called Atkinson. We don't know much about him. This one's dated from 1771, and I believe it's an English painting.
This is a little more primitive style, a little more folk art. His linear perspective is off in places, but it's still a very revealing painting and very interesting to study.
And he's actually put the main focus almost in the foreground compared to what's going on. That seems an odd technique, I think.
There's an interesting juxtaposition of the cook here in the foreground, immediately next to the doorway in the kitchen. He does do a good job of steering your attention. He steers your attention to the cook, and then he draws you into the kitchen.
Yeah, that is interesting, especially the cook wearing the only piece of blue in the entire painting. It just, boom, draws you right there, and then you want to go further. You want to go further in, and you want to see what's going on as you kind of draws you in. And you wish you could see what was going on in this background.
There are a lot of pointers here that are directing us to the cook as well. The hooks and the meat up above, even the pottle basket on the side, the table here off to his left.
And the bench down below.
Everything points you, focuses your attention on this cook in the foreground.
What we're really concentrating is, what are the things in the painting? What does it mean to this? What does it say about this cooking situation? So at the very top here,
the first thing I notice, the ubiquitous bird cage.
Yeah, right here at the top corner, we've got a bird cage, which seems to be in every one of these kitchen paintings. We have yet to find a reason whether this is symbolic or whether everyone did have a bird in their kitchen for some unknown reason.
Except I don't see the bird in this cage. The cage is there, but not the bird, as far as I can tell.
Right.
And across this beam here, he's got several things hanging, a piece of meat, likely waiting for the next meal.
Yeah, this meat is hanging in the prep room, not in the kitchen proper. If it was in the kitchen proper, you might think it was almost smoking or aging up there. This is a prep room, so I don't think so.
A number of S-hooks. He's got some baskets, some pottle baskets. The pottle was a 2-quart basket. It was used for like fruit, berries, things like that. It was like a little grocery bag at the market. They would purchase their berries in pottle baskets.
The bottle shape seems like it might be a little out of place for 1771. Maybe this bottle shape isn't as bad as I would think. It seems like it would be a much earlier bottle shape, so I'm not sure what that says exactly. We've got some kind of a bowl with a cover on it. It's like maybe it's potted meat or something else.
Some redware pans.
Case bottles, redware pans, something that's squarish up there. Maybe like a tureen or something. So again, this is it's very stylish and elegant looking woodwork here. It's very high end kind of a kitchen.
Yes, and if you notice in the other room as well, there are additional items in there, on the shelves and above the hearth.
The cooking area is very interesting. We only get a tiny glimpse of it through what we can see in the doorway, but apparently it's a much larger room. And notice that it is a separate room. He's not cooking right in here where he's prepping his other food. And my guess is, especially as we see this, not the hearth, but the cooking spot, stove beside it, that was quite likely a very smoky, quite a smoky room, depending on how they're using that. So it would probably be very nice to have a prep room that wasn't in the smoky cooking room. So that's a very interesting kind of setup here.
It's obviously very well equipped.
Right.
This is not a lower or even middle class setting, most likely.
Right. Again, we've got a storage jar, a bowl, something else that's on the shelf up there. Over the hearth, he's got multiple spits. And right there under the spits, there's a tankard or a can, sometimes they called them.
I'm intrigued by this little cylindrical box above the hearth.
Right.
Looks like it might be made out of brass or some type of metal.
Yeah.
Wondering, it's doubtful that that would be a candle box just because it's too close to the hearth. It
would
might
melt your
be
candles, yeah.
for spalls or spills.
Right. So little paper twists that you would use to light fires or candles, possibly even wooden sticks or even reeds that they would use for similar kind of purposes. Just underneath that, we have it could be a tea caddy, could be a salt box. It's pretty big for
Spice
a salt box.
box.
Yeah, something there hanging on the wall. We got a cleaver, and just underneath the cleaver, points right down to it, we've got our chopping block,
Right.
which is basically like a big stump on 3 little legs, and you can really whack at stuff.
And in the hearth itself, you have the vertical grate that allowed you to utilize
Wall up,
utilize that radiant heat, so that you didn't have to put your meat or whatever you were cooking directly over it, but you could put it right beside it and catch all the drippings.
Yeah, it gave you a vertical wall of heat. So, and we've got a beautiful big crane over that. So it's very, very nice looking, highly equipped cooking area there. So let's move on to the actual center of our painting here, the cook that is our protagonist, for lack of a better word, our real subject here. And we've got a lot of interesting things. Number one, it's a man, and men cooks were not uncommon. In fact, some of the highest cooks are going to be French cooks, chefs that come in and cook for high-class families in England. I don't know that this man is French or foreign at all, but definitely here's a man in a cooking situation. He's got a simplistic kind of a workman's cap, but it's not a workman's cap. It's something a little more. Maybe it's just some cloth that's wrapped up and tied. He's got a sleeved waistcoat on. His shirt he doesn't have a stock on that I can see. You can see how tightly fitting this sleeved waistcoat is. And if you look right behind him, close to the doorway, you can see his outerwear. It's likely colder outside, and that is his outerwear coat that he's wearing all the time. So it's a big, big coat that he's got to put on. That sleeved waistcoat, I like. It's got lots of smaller buttons. It looks like they're cloth covered of the same fabric, and it can button right up, all the way up to the neck, and it's got little turn back cuffs. He's got in his hand his recipe or his
grocery list.
Yes, who knows what he's doing there, but he's studying
the menu. Yes.
Yes. He's got on black leather shoes, and they again are tied. He's not wearing buckles. That kind of says something about this cook.
Either that, or there's a cultural thing going on here.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, there are things that are a bit unusual. His hat, the ties, we would expect to see buckles. You even mentioned that some of the higher echelon cooks were French, that they would have
Possibly even Italian.
And it's possible that we're seeing some cultural influences here. Another thing that you have to take into consideration too with paintings like this is that sometimes things were a bit stylized.
Oh yeah, and exactly.
If we move to the left of the table, we have a lot of poultry. There's a lot of food here.
Yeah.
The pans underneath, we have an unlined brass pan.
Right. A large redware pot of some sort.
And I think I found the bird.
Oh, yes.
There it is. I'll bet you that's the bird.
That cat does look rather sneaky.
The rotten cat.
And actually, cats stealing food in 18th century paintings or even before, very common. You see that theme all the time.
Well, there seems to be a purpose behind having animals in the kitchen.
Well, maybe mice.
Right. Dogs,
like
cats.
Right, wherever you've got a lot of food. We've got a very interesting chair that's upholstered. Upholstered chair, probably with black leather. I'm not sure if that's a skimmer on top of the chair.
I think it is. It looks like it, a brass skimmer of some kind.
Yes, I think there's some holes there if we look really careful. And as we push forward, we have an upturned wash tub and a pitcher on it with a metal lid, it looks like. Again, a common thing We've got carrots. We've got
Parsnips.
Parsnips, yes. Some kind of a cabbagey thing going on there, and
nice tiled floor.
right, beautiful tiled floor. So I mean, it's an amazing kitchen. It's beautiful. The amount of detail, especially in our subject here in the very center, very helpful for us as we look at paintings and we try to figure out, what does a cook look like in the 18th century? Especially one, this is obviously middle to upper class cooking
setting,
situation.
yes.
It's huge. I mean, so this is almost like a commercial kitchen looking situation. So if it isn't a commercial thing, it's definitely a high-end house.
Right.
Oh boy, there's so much here. I love this painting. So there you have this beautiful painting with so many great details. We've got a lot more like this on the siftingthepast.com blog. If you're interested, make sure to go there. We'll put links down in the description section so you can go there. And the blog is set up so that you can search for specific things. You're interested in baskets? You can find all the kind of paintings that have baskets in them. Or you just want 18th century paintings, or you just want British paintings. So it kind of makes it helpful for that. And I've kind of curated that to paintings that are useful to us for the kind of material culture that we're studying.
If you've not visited siftingthepast.com, I would encourage you to do it. It is really a valuable resource. There are hundreds of paintings. All of the items in the paintings, or most of them, are cataloged,
Right.
indexed, which makes the contents of these paintings searchable, and that's what makes it so powerful. So if you've not visited siftingthepast.com, I would encourage you to do that.
If you've got comments, specific ideas about things you've seen in this painting, things that popped out to you, or questions you had about particular contents that were in this, make sure to give them down in the comment section below. And I want to thank everyone out there for spending the time with us in this painting today. Thanks for watching. If you're new to our channel, I want to welcome you. You can subscribe by clicking the button right up here. Also check out our related videos. Thanks so much for watching.